Mwah. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's visual novel time. Now that I have you all trapped and bewitched, I can use your eyeballs to promote the underappreciated niche genre that is visual novels, and specifically ultimate games. Hi, Zan. Good evening. I hope people have had a decent enough day. The internet is on fire. I woke up from a horrible nightmare first thing in the morning. Then work was crazy. And yeah, everyone I know IRL had a horrible day today. So hopefully you guys were exceptions and had an okay-ish day. And if not, well, I will do everything in my power to make it a little bit better. We in this together. I'm ready for ultimate time. Excellent. For the sake of introducing a lot of visual novels to you guys, I've been trying to pick ones that would have some appeal to people that don't play visual novels that often. So, for the sake of introducing them to you guys in this month of February, I purposely picked ones that either have like a strong mystery action component to it, or ones that have some comedy, kind of. Because, like, there's one in particular I love that I did put on the list, Cupid's Parasite. And it's hilarious, but it takes a long time to pay off, and a lot of it's, like, hilariously cringe because it takes visual novel stuff over the top. So it's like, if it's not your cup of tea already, I don't think this is gonna work. At least with the Color Malice and Little Busters, if we only do one stream of them, you at least get like a decent taste, and there's gonna be probably enough to chew on because the appeal of these aren't fully in the romance. The romance is definitely good, but like there's other stuff going on, which is nice. Color Malice in particular was one of the few visual novels where I got all the good endings, all the best endings, and all the bad endings. Because through each different ending, you get more clues that let you put together the mystery. Are they all Steam VNs? No. A lot of them are for Switch only, I believe. Little Busters might be on Steam, I'm not sure. Because Clan Ad's on Steam. And Little Busters is also a key visual novel, but Color Malice is Switch only. Most like ultimate games end up only being on Switch. Kind of like how they used to only ever be on the PS Vita or the PSP. But yeah, everything, my capture card worked great right off the bat. Even they're excited. So yeah, we'll put it together. In this stream, we'll probably get through... We call it the general route, basically. So the game starts off, and it has like a couple hours of preamble, setting up the mystery and stuff before you can really branch off into the different paths. So like that'll pique people's interest, I'm sure. And then yeah, if there is interest in coming back, or even if I just feel like coming back, let's be real. I will, I will do what I want. This is my stream. if we come back, this'll probably be one I would actually come back to because there is a mystery part of this. There's romance, but it's, in some ways, it feels much more like Famicom Detective Club. If, like, you know, you could actually, like, romance Ayumi. And there's actually, like, some mini-games in this, like, not full-on quick-time event, but pretty close. Da, 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 da. So let me... Okay, don't do this. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna start with the normal route / common route, as they call it. Because you have to go through that anyway to get to where things start branching up. So let's see. Let's get this going. Nope, not that, not that, that. I might have to actually get rid of... a layout. No, we'll keep that. I'll just break that down a bit. There we go. Oop. And I'll get the audio for you guys in just a click. There we go. As far as I can tell today, we don't have any clicking that we sometimes do, so everything should be good. Let me just have a... I made some decaf coffee because caffeine is bad for your voice work, and I mean, parts of this visual novel are voiced, not all of it though, so a lot of voice work for me. Hello. As you can see, from like the little icon, whoops, there goes the opening, hold on. As you can see from the little icon, there's a cat involved. The cat motif is part of it. So, alright, here we go. Yeah, we'll keep her name. The design is still cute in this game, honestly. I think it's the same artist who did Hakuoki. This game is by Automate, who was the company that did Hakuoki, and a lot of visual novel companies tend to use the same artists. So yeah, we will keep... Oops, nope. We'll keep Ichika's name, because I like it. And this game does a good job at explaining all of the background. And like there's a glossary and stuff, so I'll try and fill y'all in as we go. It's been a couple years since I played this, so I remember most of it, but I'm sure there's some stuff along the way that I forgot. Because you have to do all 4 or 5 of the guy's routes to kind of put the whole story together. And so, like, it takes a long time to put it all together, so I'm sure there's stuff I forgot along the way. Ichika... Yep. Oh yeah, we can only change her first name, not the last name. This is a work of fiction, blah 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 blah. I'm surprised... Isn't this X Day stuff crazy? It's been happening every month. Oh yeah.
今月も犯行予告流れるかな。X デーをお知らせします。
So what I sort of neglected to mention is there are multiple terrorist attacks. One happening each month. And if we don't stop them within a year, they're gonna do Judgment Day, basically on Christmas, if I remember right. Report of X Day incidents. Report of X Day incidents. April 1st. A prime day to do a terrorist attack, I suppose. No one would believe you. The video that started all this played on the giant screen facing Shinjuku train station. In order to restore tainted Japan to health, the countdown to X Day will now begin. Our objective is simple. Purge the corruption from the land and make Shinjuku the site of its rebirth. If you are afraid, then leave this land. We will not be stopped. But know this, no matter where you are, you will be judged. There are no exceptions. We will resurrect the truth in this world. No longer will only the weak be persecuted. Some people appearing to be police officers were tied up in the video, so police are working frantically to trace the broadcast. Prior to the broadcast, a number of officers had been reported missing. The transmission's origin and the officers were never found, and then May arrived. Another video showing the bound officers, like the one in April, was uploaded. Thank you for waiting, everybody. The time for judgment is at hand. As we mentioned before, the people here are criminals. In order to cure Japan, such people must be exterminated. Judgment has been passed as a preview of X Day. This is not the end. Henceforth, we will continue to mete out justice to aid our nation's rebirth. Our name is Adonis. Hear me well, listeners. Make sure that you remember this name, okay? May this world become a paradise. Gunshots rang out during the declaration, and the police officers were shot. The police traced the video to an abandoned building and confirmed one officer's death. However, other officers' bloodstains were found. That doesn't sound like a paradise? I mean, if you consider a paradise a place with no corruption and no evil because all the evil's being killed, The criminal's trail and the missing officer's whereabouts are still unknown. This incident began a chain of heinous crimes that continued into June, July, and August, and the number of victims steadily rose. Public scrutiny of the police grew harsh as time passed, and police efforts were fruitless. A Roman numeral indicating a countdown and a unique coin believed difficult to counterfeit were found at the scene. Markings on the coin led some to speculate that the once dismantled terrorist organization known as Adonis had been reborn. And then, on September 1st, exasperated by the repeated incidents, the government enacted extreme measures. Shinjuku Quarantine Act. This measure, intended to trap the criminals within the borders of Shinjuku, obviously drew the wrath of the public. Demonstrations bordering on riots broke out, but the government suppressed these and stated that it was for Shinjuku's safety. The government did not stop there. It also adopted unprecedented extra-legal measures. Repeal of the Swords and Firearms Control Law. Oh yeah, so for context, they explained this a little bit, but for context, this is basically what created the downfall of the samurai, because it became illegal to carry weapons. To provide citizens a means of defense, firearms were provided to all people over the age of 20 within Shinjuku. I guess this is a paradise to some people, yes. It was all under the pretext of self-defense. The firearms and ammo were all coded in order to quickly determine a shooter's identity whenever a weapon was discharged. The criminals have guns, so the people should be given equal access to equal arms. And I'll say this now, because I don't know if we'll get this far into the game, but they do actually address how how similar this is to America's mentality with the right to bear arms. For a dating sim, there's some interesting social commentary in this. Thus, as an extra legal measure, the residents of Shinjuku District exclusively have an obligation to carry firearms. The law, ratified behind closed doors, was suddenly announced to the public. The police had to obey the government's mandate, and the unrest of the citizens trapped within Shinjuku swelled. Though upset, one could say that the citizens were now better suited to survive other incidents. Oh my god, hello! Thank you! Thank you for the gifted subs! Hi, Nick! Thank you, as we settle in for a dark visual novel. Well, there's some romance and some comedy in here, but the premise is dark. It was obvious this plan was full of holes. But there was no turning back. On X Day, all would be reborn in order for their utopia to become reality. And there we go, chapter 1. Well, 0, the prologue, basically. Well, yeah, that's the premise. Kind of unexpected for a dating sim, huh? December 5th, 4 p.m. Oh, that's right, this all takes place within a month. Yes, you have reached the CRCPO.
ああ、その声は星野さんでしょ。また銃を持った男がうろついてるのよ。早く来てちょうだい。
This is Miss Hoshino on the line, right? That man with a gun is loitering here again. Please come right away. Oh, look at this guy. He's adorable. I love Mochida.
星野、また例のばあさんからか？
He's not dateable though, sadly. Well, actually, he's married, so the good ones always get taken. Was it that granny again, Hoshino? Yes.
その顔はまた押し切られたんだろう。お前な、これで何度目だ？
Your face tells me she hung up on you again. How many times is this now? I'm sorry. She always hangs up before I can say anything. So I couldn't tell her no.
いいか、星野。今までのことを思い出してみろ。
Listen, Hoshino. Think about every time we've gone out there.
通報を受けて駆けつけても怪しいと思ったけど気のせいだったとか、来てもらうまでもなかったとか。
Oh, damn. Even when we follow up on her reports, it's always just her imagination or something that wasn't worth the trip out there.
悪びれずに言われて何度
How
俺
many
たちが
times
肩透か
has
しを
she
食らっ
sent
たこ
us
と
on
か。
a wild goose chase now? It certainly is true that we've gotten nothing out of any of her reports so far. But the way Shinjuku is now, we can't be certain that it'll just be nothing again. Oh yeah, the glossary. Shinjuku. Shinjuku is one of the 23 special wards of Tokyo. The X-Day incidents wrought by Adonis have led to the quarantine of Shinjuku from the rest of the country. Public opinion was strongly opposed to this action. Somehow the Prime Minister is still in office, I'm assuming.
まあ、そうなんだが。
Well, that's true. In any case, isn't the old woman just feeling uneasy? Until 3 short months ago, it would have been unimaginable for a common citizen to be carrying a gun like we are now.
星野、お前は冷静だな。
You're
とても
awfully
警
calm
察官
about
にな
all
って
this,
半年の
Hoshino.
新人とは思えないぞ。
If I didn't know better, I never guessed that you've only been on the job for half a year. Oh, so she joined in June? June or May? Huh? Really?
ああ、俺が入りたての頃なんて、もっと必死でちょっとつ猛進というか。
Yeah, when I joined the force, I was a lot more reckless. I was pretty much a daredevil after all. Damn. Even now, I think you're too bold. Sorry, I guess I should say hardworking.
いや、今は特防として苦情には平謝り、嫌味を言われても平謝りな日々だ。
Now all I do in the SRCPO is take complaints and apologize for them, even when people talk crap. This is the department of the police that the protagonist works for. This department was created in order to deal with the public calling in to report activity related to X Day. Shinjuku Reporting Center Police Office? Maybe? I don't remember if they ever say what the full name of this department is. Back then, the blood would rush to my head. You know, I've really grown up now. Mm-hmm.
しかし、独房は X デー事件の捜査をさせてもらえるわけじゃないからな。
Anyway, there's no way that SCRPO would get to work the X-Day cases. That's a real shame. Mochi does gazing into the distance again. He really wants to investigate. Once the Quarantine Act was enacted, Shinjuku Station set up a service for residents. Shinjuku Station, the protagonist works here, the main police department in Shinjuku. The department employs roughly 700 people who are under the jurisdiction of the Metropolitan Police. We've been soliciting tips on the incident, but we're really understaffed. Oh no. That's relatable. Oh, there we go. Whoops. Man, I was not even close to what the full name is. Special Regions Crime Prevention Office, or the SRCPO, comprises officers from many areas. We mainly deal with calls like the one earlier, or unverifiable claims, and we also patrol Shinjuku to keep the peace. Mochida and I were transferred from the local station here, so we often work together. Shinjuku is a hive of animosity and distrust, so it's not safe to go for a leisurely stroll. Usually when we get a report, we'll hear let's try again! Usually when we get a report, we'll hear about how people don't trust the police. But it still looks like there are some people who rely on the police.
そうだな。あんまりあのばあさんを待たせるわけにも
We
いかない
shouldn't
し。
keep that granny waiting too long. Let's go. Yes, sir! Oh,
今日も今日とて
my scrun.
ただ
Hang on.
人相が悪い男がうろついてただけだったわけだな。
My hair tie slid right out of my hair. I'm sure it's just another guy hanging around that creeped her out for no particular reason.
あのばあさん、お前が話を聞くと、いつも帰る頃には安心した顔してるよな。
But whenever you hear her out, that old lady looks really relieved. Whoops. Well, she lives alone, so I don't think she has anyone else that she can count on. She looks kind of scary, but sometimes she talks about her grandchild. I'm sure that she's actually a kind person.
そういうのも、お前が相手だから話そうって思えるのかもな。
It probably seems that way when you're the one talking to her.
子供やお年寄りから
You're
話
good
を
at
聞くのは
listening to children and elderly people.
俺はどうも相手が話してる途中で口を挟みたくなるんだよな。
Not me. I always want to cut them off and make them get to the point. If you know your flaw, you should fix that. Hi, Flan! Welcome in. I am introducing y'all to one of my favorite visual novels under the pretense of, you know, it being February and Valentine's Day is next week. Is this a yaoi VN? No, no, no. It's not yaoi VN. It is heterosexual romance only. You missed the introduction period, like, because there's like a whole little prologue that sets it up, but basically we are a new police officer, Ichika Hoshino, and there's been a whole bunch of terrorism attacks that have been happening, and so we're You'll see how it goes as we get there, but that's about the gist of what you need to know. There's been a bunch of terrorist attacks, so the government was like, hey, we're locking down the city. No one gets in or out, and also, everyone over the age of 20 gets a gun. What could possibly go wrong? I have to agree. Mochida is pretty much exactly like that. Wow. Yeah. I purposely picked a visual novel that has some mystery / action elements to it, so.
おい、星野、ここは否定するところだぞ。
Hey, Hoshino. This is where you're supposed to deny it. Oh! Sorry. Seriously? You're my subordinate. You're supposed to back me up. That hurts. Well, I mean... Don't say something if you don't want people to agree with you, like... Guy was fishing for the guy was fishing for compliments. Mochida is my superior, but he always treats me like we're equals. So I really feel like I can just be myself around him. I thought the police... Whoops, sorry. I thought the police force would have a strict pecking order. So that was a big relief. Though I never admit that to his face. I think that's only in your department because there's only like 4 of you.
おい、あんたたち警察だよな。ずいぶん暇そうじゃねえか。
Uh-oh. Hey, you the cops? You seem to have an awful lot of free time. Hmm? I turned to face the voice behind me. A vexed man with a gun glared at me. Oh, no.
俺たちが新宿に閉じ込められたのってさ、警察が無能なせいだろ。
It's because you cops are so incompetent that we got trapped here in Shinjuku.
責任取って今この場で土下座しろよ。できるよな。でねえと。
Get on your knees and apologize to us. You'll accept your punishment, right? Or... One of the men raised his gun at me. Whoop!
やめとけ。
Stop that crap. Whoa, what did the dude think was gonna happen? Mochida! Mochida swiftly closed the distance and disarmed the man with an arm lock.
お前、そいつを離せ。
Hey, let him go!
銃による脅迫には刑
Threatening
罰が下
someone
さ
with
れ
a
る。
gun has a harsh
お前たち知っててこんな
penalty.
真似してるのか？
You still want to give it a shot?
だったらなんだって言う
So
んだよ。
what? You think I care about that? Well, I am at probably.
俺は
Hopefully.
言い訳をするつもりはない。
I won't make any excuses for what happened.
見たところ遊びたい盛りだろう。それなのにこんな事態に巻き込んだのは警察として申し訳ないと思う。
You can probably tell I'm just playing around. Still, I don't see any reason for a cop like me to endure treatment like this.
しかしな、その鬱憤を晴らすために誰かを傷つけようとするな。
Anyway, find a better way to vent your anger that doesn't involve hurting other people.
その銃は身を守るために使うものだ。武器として扱うのは許さん。
That gun was given to you for self-defense. It's not to be used as an offensive weapon. Literally, what did the government think was gonna happen? Perhaps cowed by Mochida's words, they reluctantly lowered their weapons.
それでいい。
Good! The sun's going down now, so leave her alone and run on home. Mochida returned the gun he took from the man and shoot them off. Wow.
いいか？一般人相手に同じ真似はするなよ。
Don't
二度目
pull
は
that
な
on
いぞ。
civilians, you hear me? Don't you ever do that again. The trio retreated quietly, and Mochida turned to me.
すまん星野。
Oh, sorry, Hoshino. Those guys. I know. We'll overlook this, won't we? There's no shortage of people who harbor that kind of animosity towards the police. Obstructing an officer is a jailable offense, though they're not exactly known for blaming the police. Really? Obstructing an officer. This typically refers to the act of interfering with police investigations. In the broadest sense of the phrase, it also refers to illegal activities by public employees. Huh. Interesting. Mochida must have felt the same way, so he chose to simply let them go with a warning. I recorded the firearm number for their guns. That's like the serial number? Yep. Currently in the Shinjuku district, citizens over age 20 who meet certain criteria are given a firearm with an ID number. The firearm also has a sensor that reports the number and location when it is fired. Oh! I wonder how long it took for someone to disable that.
おお、助かる。
Oh, thanks! I don't think those guys are bad people. One of them still had his safety on anyway. Still, you've matured as a cop. You're calm when someone draws a gun on you. Yeah, it's kind of weird to say that I'm used to it. But I can assess the situation now. Girl has seen more action than some veteran police officers. Once the sordid firearm law got repealed, I would tremble if I was drawn on. The full official name of the law is the Sword and Firearms Control Law. Handguns, small arms, and blades exceeding a specific length are all restricted under this law. It has currently been repealed in Shinjuku, and yes, this is what started the downfall of the samurai because katanas were banned. Despite my training at the police academy, I lost my nerve on several occasions when someone pointed a gun at me with hostility. But I mean, I think that's vaguely normal. But every time that happened, Mochida stepped in and protected me. It's all thanks to you, Mochida. Watching you handle yourself like you just did has eased my fear of guns quite a bit. It's something you naturally get used to once you've experienced it. Besides, when situations like this arise, I gotta stick up for my subordinates. Aw, what a nice guy. Mochida puffed out his chest and then let out a carefree laugh. He's relaxed like an easygoing uncle, but he's my reliable superior. He's only 32, don't call him an uncle! He's only like 10 years older than you. He's more of your big brother than anything. When we returned to the station, we could hear the stirrings of a commotion. Who'd they drag in this time? Well, crime rates in Shinjuku are at a record high. Most of them are first-time offenders and mean civilians haven't accepted things yet. As long as there are people willing to dirty their hands, there will also be wannabe heroes. Heroes, huh? Last month, a criminal claimed responsibility for X Day and started shooting randomly. Wow. Bystanders gunned him down, and the incident ended without any innocent victims, but there was talk of thank yous and rewards, and more people started to do the same. Ah, vigilante justice. The criminal died of his wounds, but investigators found no connection between him and X Day. The theory is that he was a copycat criminal. Due to this incident, however, the number of people actively carrying guns increased. There are some who praise the citizens taking matters into their own hands, but normally our job would be to bring the guy in. despite all that, Officer Mochida, we don't know who might be listening. Mochida looked around and made a sour expression. He lowered his voice. Sorry, I know the brass had to stick it up, but this is just so half-assed. I know how you feel. I'm just as impatient as you are. As a police officer, I also want to help solve the cases. All I can do is lend an ear to the citizens that turn to the SRCPO. That's all I can do. Oh, Hoshino, I have some business with the local planning office. Can you go on ahead? Yes, sir. I parted ways with Mochida, and soon I came across a familiar face. Good work today, Saeki. Otsukare-sama. Yuzuru Saeki.
ああ、星野。お疲れ。もう上がるのか?
Oh, what a cutie. Hey, Hoshino. Same to you. Are you off today? He is not romanceable, though. No, not yet. I was just on my way to file a report. We attended the academy together and became friends while we were out drinking. We also got assigned to the same office, so we're drinking and venting buddies. What about you, Saeki?
Yeah.
Nope. I'm also stuck here writing a report. Same as you.
Oh, so yeah, 明日飲みに行く約束忘れてないよな.
By the way, we're still on for drinking tomorrow, right? Yeah, I have a lot of things I want to ask you. What? More therapy sessions? You've had it rough since you joined SRCPO. Back at the academy, you were always so fired up. You wanted to make a difference by catching even one more criminal. Well, but back then I never would have imagined things would turn out like this. Hey, I'm not saying that I don't like that passionate side of yours. I suppose all that passion went out the CRCPO service window, though. Whew. No, it didn't. My feelings haven't changed a bit. Oh, there's that spirit again. Yep, that's how you should be. Without thinking, I flashed a smile in response to Saeki's grin. I feel a bit more relaxed now. Saeki knows just the right thing to say when my mind is like this. He's a big reason why I can stay optimistic in this job, despite all the dilemmas I face. Oh, well, I was wondering who you were talking to. Saeki? Good work today. Otsukare. You off now?
Yeah.
No, I still have to do some follow up on some work. Have a good evening. And off he goes. Saeki bowed slightly towards Mochida and gave me a look. Good luck. Yeah, thanks. You two get along pretty well. You're going drinking tomorrow, right? Huh? Did I mention that? Saeki did about a week ago, I think. He came by and told me when you were going out so that I wouldn't give you overtime. So sorry, Saeki's a little too straightforward sometimes. Ah, Saeki likes her. Of course he does. Well, at times like these, you gotta stretch your wings a bit. Have fun. I will. After I handed my report off to Mochida, I suddenly remembered something. I should stop by before I head home. Ah, yes, the shooting range. When I have even a little bit of free time, I practice at the station's shooting range. I want to improve my skills just in case they're needed. Plus, shooting helps calm my nerves and deal with anxiety. Girl? I have questions. I took a firing stance and took a deep breath. My hands used to shake just holding it. And now it calms your nerves. Even when firing on static targets, I was reluctant to hold a weapon for killing people. I was afraid. The day that I dispelled the hesitation was during training one day at the academy.
Oh,
you're still here. Your face says something's bothering you again. Saeki, I don't think I'm suited for this job after all. I'm just shooting a target now, but what if it were a real person? I know I'd miss in that situation.
お前はさ、銃が何のためにあると思う？
Hoshino, what do you think that gun is for? Huh? For catching criminals, right?
そこからしてちょっと
That
頭
again?
固いんじゃ
Aren't
ない
you
か。
being a bit harder-headed?
俺は
I believe that
銃を
gun
撃
is
つ
so
の
we can shoot
は
to
守るためだ。
protect.
誰もが持てるもんじゃ
Not
ない。
just anyone can do it.
俺たち警察だけに
Police
許された
officers have
守
trained
る
to
手段
do
だ。
so. Shooting to protect.
人質を取った犯
You
人
could
に
catch a
火
hostage taker when he
を
lowers
逃亡
his
しようと
guard,
する奴の足止めをする。
or immobilize a
正
fleeing
確な射
criminal.
撃能力があればそれ
You
も
can
可
do
能
that
に
with accurate marksmanship.
でも
But if you
撃つ
don't have
角
the
度と
conviction and
能
skill と
力が備
shoot,
わってなけれ
you
ば
might let hostages
人質
die.
をみすみす死なせてしまうかも
Criminals
し
could
れない。
escape and commit
犯
more
人
crimes.
殺すためじゃない。
It isn't a
守る
killing
ために撃
weapon.
つ。
You shoot to protect.
そうは考え
Can't
ら
you
れないか。
try and think of it that way? Yeah, you're right. The reason we're issued guns is because we're responsible for protecting the people. Yeah, besides,
でもさ、
Hoshino,
星野、
I think that because we're
銃
allowed
を
to
持つこと
carry
を許
guns,
された俺た
we
ち
need
だ
to
か
be
ら
ready
こ
for the worst. Worst case scenario, you mean where we might have to kill to protect the innocent?
そ、あ
Yeah,
あ、
we
た
have
とえ
to
そ
be
れで
prepared
犯
to
罪者の
take a life
命を
in
奪っ
order
たと
to
しても
protect the lives of others.
もしそういう選択を迫
If
られ
it
た
were to come down to that, would you have what it takes to shoot? A good question. After listening to his words, I understood what the weight of a weapon meant to Saeki. For him, this was not just a tool for killing. It was meant to protect people. I shouldn't hold a gun without the resolve, and a police officer must be ready to shoot. After that, I devoted myself to training. As Saeki said, conviction alone is worthless. Without marksmanship, a gun would still just be a killing weapon. To make sure that I would be able to protect, I've been training at the range daily. My skills have improved dramatically. In fact, marksmanship is my greatest skill. Of course, I doubt my performances in the field will mirror my skill in training. I never know when that time will come. But when a key moment comes, I don't want regrets. So we practice the quick time events. As long as Shinjuku stays this way, as long as the X-Day incidents are unresolved, I get the feeling that I'll need to be ready. I aimed and raised my head. Here we go. It's pretty simple, you know, you just have to hit it when it's in the bullseye. No, one more time. Before I knew it, an hour had passed. In the end, all my shots had formed a tight grouping in the center. I let out a deep sigh.
さすが相変わらずの腕前だな。
Some fine shooting as expected. Ugh! Surprised by the sad voice behind me, I spun around startled. Saeki! You still haven't left? Crazy story, one time I was at an indoor range and I was almost hit by a ricochet because oh god. Yeah. These things should not be used lightheartedly, that's for sure. The same. I used to do Iado, which is like a form of swordsmanship. The wooden sword is much heavier than you think it is, and it's a lot harder to swing. I imagine it's probably the same with firearms and stuff. In theory, it's easy, but it's a lot heavier and more difficult to control than you think. range closed down a couple years ago. They were pretty lax with the rules. I think that place closing down was for the better then. Sheesh.
結構時間かかっちゃってさ、息抜きにサボろうかと思ったら、お前がこっち来るの見えたから。
I got bogged down with work. I figured I'd step out for a breather and I saw that you were here. Oh, were you watching this whole time? You should have said something.
あれだけ集中し
You
て
were
るの見て、
concentrating
邪魔で
pretty
きない
hard,
っ
so I didn't want to
て。それ
interrupt.
に俺、
Besides, I was enjoying it.
好きなんだよ。
I like
お前の
watching you
射撃見
shoot.
るの。
It
なんか
helps me
心が落ち着く
relax.
っていうか、
It's cathartic, I guess.
いろんなものが浄化される感じ。
Imagine sipping so hard that watching the girl you like shoot a gun is relaxing. What the heck? Should I be happy to hear that?
もちろん褒
Of
めて
course,
るんだ
it's
ね。
a compliment. I
俺
respect
は
you.
尊敬してるんだ。
Excuse
お前
me.
の
I
そういう
respect that you're a hard
努力
worker
家で一
and
生
that you
懸
try
命
and improve yourself for the
まっすぐな
future. Where is this suddenly coming from? You won't get anything out of flattering me. He's always confident, so something felt off. Saiki let out a small chuckle in my attempt to deflect my embarrassment.
お前は昔から熱心だったけどさ。
You've always been
ここ数
passionate.
ヶ
You
月
started coming
頻繁
here
に来るように
more,
なったのは
more.
銃刀法が
You
解除
started
されたか
coming
ら
here more once the weapons ban was lifted, right? Yeah. As he said, it was around then. He knew, even though I hadn't spoken about it. I definitely intensified my training after the weapons ban was lifted. Because this hunk of metal, which a trained officer needed conviction to wield, had been distributed to the untrained masses. The world had turned into a place where people would half-jokingly draw guns at other people, just as those men had done earlier today.
見たところ遊びたい盛りだろう。それなのにこんな事態に巻き、しかしな。
Find a better way to vent your anger that
誰
doesn't
かを傷
involve
つけようと
hurting
する。
people.
その銃は身を守るため。
Yup. When I remembered Mochida's words, the pistol felt heavier than ever. This was not something to be taken lightly. I'm sure that many of the citizens baffled by the government policy felt similarly. Some objected to the distribution of guns, but now some people will obviously use them. And not just for self-defense. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to make civilians carry this burden. I have the conviction to shoot. I'm a cop. That's my responsibility. I'll fulfill my duty no matter what. But
その覚悟を持たない。
people who haven't readied themselves now have the power to kill someone with a trigger pull.
俺もおかしいって。
Yeah, I think that's weird too.
武器を持てるのはある意味
The
選ばれ
fact
た
that we could carry guns set us apart. We trained to defend the law and had guns to uphold it. I see what you're saying. Even if the government says this is for self-defense, I think this is wrong. The people who run the country don't want to talk about what they've done here. I'm not in a position to protest it, but I can't approve a world where people are sadly made to wield a weapon. Words alone aren't enough. When the moment comes, my skills need to prevent criminals from ever having to use their guns. Or civilians, rather.
俺も
Yeah,
負けて
I
られな
won't
いな。
lag behind you, although
まあさす
I
が
don't
にお
think
前
I'd
に
be
は
able to
勝てそう
beat
に
you
ないけ
now.
ど。
You've always had a gift for
努力以前に。
marksmanship. Saiki strolled away with a bright laugh. As I watched him leave, he looked back at me with a vague smile.
なあ、星野
Hey.。
お前は
Hoshino,
犯罪者を
when
目
a
の前
criminal
に
is
した
right
時
in front of you, you're
守る
prepared
た
to
め
shoot
に
to
撃つ
protect,
覚悟があ
right?
るんだよ。
Yeah. I could now resolutely answer the question that he had asked me before. I returned Saiki's smile and settled into her firing stance with my gun. I pulled the trigger without hesitation, as if to demonstrate my determination. Conviction was carved into my heart. December 5th, 10 p.m. I left the station and walked to my home when a brisk wind made me shiver. Oh, That's cold. Even through a muffler and a thick coat, the December chill stung my body. My breath exited my body as a tiny white cloud, and I glanced at the nearby buildings. This place sure has changed. Shinjuku used to be bustling day and night. Nowadays, it was mostly empty after nightfall. Much of society just stopped functioning once Shinjuku became quarantined. Shops, schools, and utilities continued to work to the government's satisfaction, but everything else was non-existent. So long as the criminals remained at large, there would always be an uneasiness here. It's hard to tell people to live their normal lives in this situation. You couldn't just visit friends anymore. You had to weigh it against being targeted. People didn't know whether they or their loved ones would be the next victims, but they had to go on living somehow. It was hard to put into words just how much I missed life before the quarantine. I know I'm not the only one who has come to this realization. I love her little phone, also like the layout. I hurriedly took out my phone, which was displaying Mochida's name. Does he have a problem with my report? Wondering what I'd do if I was asked to return, I answered the call. Yes, this is Hoshino.
上がったばかりで悪いんだが仕事だ。何でも新宿園内で揉め事があったらしい。
Sorry to call you back, but it's urgent. It sounds like there's trouble in Shinjuku Garden. Shinjuku Garden? Anyone hearing that name would be wary. The X-Day incident in August, Shinjuku Garden was the scene of the crime and the epicenter of much public fear. It should be closed off to the public. Shoulda, coulda, was not.
場所が場所だけに X デー事件と無関係とも言い切れない。
Given the site, we can't rule out a connection to the X-Day incidents. Most of the officers from the police boxes are out on other business, so they've asked us to respond to the situation. Acknowledged. I'll head there right away.
相手がどんな連中かわからないからな。俺が行くまで必ず現場で待機してろよ。
We don't know who or what we're dealing with. Stand by until I get there. You hear me? I know. I won't act on my own. I ended the call and hastily made my way over to Shinjuku Garden. Oh, here we go. When I arrived, I quickly scouted the area and assessed the situation. Nobody's here? The area was dark, and visibility was poor. It'd be tough for me to tell if anyone was laying in ambush in there. Just in case, I drew my sidearm. I'd gotten into the habit of always carrying my weapon, and I had practiced often, but I had never actually used it in the field. So, to be honest, I was nervous. Still, if I was confronted with someone who intended to take the lives of others, I can't hesitate. While cautiously eyeing my surroundings, I approached the sealed gate to Shinjuku Garden. Why isn't Mochida here yet? It seemed like it was taking him an awfully long time to get here. I wonder if he's going into some trouble. I'd be so nervous with all those trees around knowing everyone is armed, right? Like, this was the government did like a very, very questionable thing. While I was debating whether to call him, I heard the sound of footsteps approaching. Is that Mochida? I turned around. Oop! I felt something push against my waist, then a shock coursed through my body. Welp. Alright guys, that's it. Bad end. I opened my eyes and saw a flickering light. What is this, Fate Stay Night? We didn't even get a husbando. I know! Terrible. What? Where am I? I tried to get up, but my body was numb and unresponsive. I couldn't move. What? What's going on? I tried to move my head to at least get a sense of my surroundings. Something's there. I felt a strange pressure around my neck. I wanted to check what it was, but I couldn't even raise my hands. No. Why? It was as if my body wasn't my own. Still, I gradually regained the use of my hands, and I timidly felt my neck. Is this a collar? Someone's got some kinky taste. It even has like a tag. I grew pale as I felt the metallic coldness. What is this? What's it doing on me? What am I doing here? Looking around, I saw that the floor around me was covered with what looked like red flowers. Did someone just sprinkle roses on the ground? Flowers scarlet like blood. Okay, this is a little fucked up. Or is it just the stained glass? Looking up, I could see the moonlight cascading through stained glass. Am I in a church? My body was paralyzed for reasons unknown. I was wearing an unfamiliar collar. Yet, the ephemeral beauty of the stained glass dominated my attention for the moment. Where have I seen this stained glass? You appear to finally be awake, Miss Ichika Hoshino. The voice was close. It was from the collar. I'm sure you were surprised to suddenly find yourself here. I very much want to speak to you in private, so I arranged to have you collected in this manner. Who are you? Did you put this collar on me? Why did you? I cannot give you the answers to those questions at this time. Regardless, you will eventually arrive at our humble abode. What do you mean? You have been chosen as a test subject. Henceforth, we will be closely monitoring your actions until X Day. When you execute your own form of justice, I promise we will meet. Not like this, but in person. What is your goal? What experiment? What have you done to me? Quiet now, or else you'll die, you know. The collar currently around your neck contains a lethal poison. Poison? The dose currently in your bloodstream has a delayed effect, and is not a lethal dose. It would be a problem if you died here. They say their goal isn't to kill me. That's why I'm in this paralyzed state. I have no idea what they're up to. Everything I learned only made me more tense. Still, as a police officer, I couldn't just sit quietly and take this. After all, the voice coming from the collar mentioned something about X Day. I have to investigate further. I need to at least get some useful information so I can report it. Oh, please do not speak of this to the police. We'd like to avoid taking drastic measures. And surely, you'd feel quite lonely if you were to lose those dear to you, right? I don't know how much this criminal knows about me, but if they're going to threaten the people close to me, I won't forgive you. I'll never forgive you for this. I hope that you are being truthful, but we have no interest in impotent self-righteousness. What we seek are noble intentions. The world's full of malice and vague laws, but ideals are clear. Formless justice. Will learning the truth change your struggle? Will you lead the rebirth with us? We look forward to learning the answer. Now, show us. Ichika Hoshino. Show us what justice means to you. Oh, it's the opening. I'm not a huge fan of this opening, but it lets you see the main guy, so might as well. These evokers looked a little weird, right? And here we go again. I wonder how much time had passed. Despite my entreaties, the caller was silent. My body was still paralyzed, and worse, I felt it getting harder and harder to breathe. They said it wasn't a lethal dose, but I don't know if that's true. At this rate, if nobody finds me soon... As that thought suddenly crossed my mind, my vision grew dark. I'm scared. Somebody, help me.
お前
You! There!
おいしっかりしろ
Hey, keep it together! Somebody found me. Perhaps I would be saved. While clinging on to that shred of hope, I looked at the man in front of me. Got a little bit of dead fish eyes going on here. Who are you?
無理に喋るな
Don't force yourself to talk.
お
I've
前
been
を
looking
探して
for
いたん
you.
だお前の状況は把握し
We
て
know what's happened to you. Hang in
心も
there.
使っただろう
Everything will be okay.
もう大丈夫だ
It'll be
絶
alright.
対に助ける
We've got you. Once I heard those words, my crippling terror began to subside a bit. However, some doubts stubbornly remained. They were looking for me. And they know what's happened to me? How did they know? How did they know I was here? After having that realization, my would-be savior suddenly seemed much more frightening.
俺が怖いか
Are you afraid of me? He must have seen a change in my expression. The man looked at me, and then...
これじゃまるで
This is just like that other time. He seemed kind of sad as he murmured that, but I couldn't take my eyes off him. Why making that face?
でも今度こそ俺は
This time I'll be sure to. I couldn't catch the end of his whisper. Huh? This voice. For an instant, something clicked in my mind. I'd seen those sorrowful eyes somewhere. A voice that filled me with deep calm. This should have been our first meeting. But I felt like these qualities were familiar. Who are you? Just as I opened my mouth to voice that question,
柳先輩
Yanagi!
その女か
So she's the one.
ああこの首輪といい
Yeah.
間違いない
See that collar?
榎本
There's no doubt
予
about
告
it.
状はお前が持ってたな
Enomoto, did you bring the notice?
はいここに
Yeah, here. The man lifted me into his arms. Oh, sorry, the man lifting me in his arms took what appeared to be a letter from a man who was wearing an eye patch.
これは俺たち宛てに届いた予告状だ
This is a notice that was addressed to us. He unfolded the sheet so that I was able to see it. As part of the X Day countdown, a woman will be poisoned to death on the 6th of December at 12 a.m. There is only one way to save her. You must enter the unlock code given below into the collar the woman is wearing. Furthermore, if the police are notified, we will immediately kill the woman. Even if you save the woman, you are not to speak of the collar. We will be monitoring your actions through the collar. Should you violate any of these terms, you will be placing her life in jeopardy. Heed this warning well. Next day countdown? Why me?
狙われるだけの理由がお前にあるってことじゃねえの
Well, can't you think of some reason why they'd be targeting you? Huh?
バカを黙ってろ
Shut up,
時間
idiot!
がない
We don't have time for this.
笹塚の言う通りだ
Sasuzuka's right. It can wait until we've neutralized the toxin.
でも罠かもし
But
れ
it
ない
could be a true.
榎本
Enomoto.
二度
I
は
won't repeat myself. Her life is at stake. Honestly, I don't know if I can trust these people. I mean, that's fair. Dude's got an eye patch. But at this rate, I don't want to die without even trying. I made up my mind and prepared to speak. If there's a way to stop it, please help me.
ああ
Yeah,
解
it
除コー
looks
ド
like
は
we need to enter the
こ
code
こに入力するらしいな
here. The man touched somewhere on the collar while supporting my body weight. I thought I was ready, but I was still scared. Not knowing what was about to happen, I squeezed my eyes shut.
少しだけ我慢してくれ
Just hold on a little bit longer. You'll be okay. I was standing on the border between life and death. I had no idea whether or not I'd draw another breath. What a strange situation. I want to trust this man. The moment that thought formed in my mind. Ow! I let out a gasp as the collar lanced me.
ま
No!
さか解除失敗
Did we
か
screw up?
柳さんどうなんだ
Yanagi, what's happening? When I heard their H's voices, I worried that the darkness would claim me. Game is a little loud? Okay, hang on. It's been pretty chill for most of it, but yeah, it's gonna... There's more voices now, so I'll probably get louder. But soon I felt something change. Huh? I can... move? When I slowly opened my eyes, the man holding me exhaled a sigh of relief.
どうやら解除は成功したようだ。
It looks like it worked. Yes, I can feel my body again.
なんだよ、紛らわしい。
Really? Make it more obvious next time. Sorry? When I felt the pain in my neck, I thought I was done for. But it seems like I made it. Breathing had finally become easier. So I patted my chest in relief.
顔色もさっきよりマシだよな。
Her colors look...
柳先輩。
Blah, blah. Her colors looked better than it was earlier. Yanagi, it seems like the collar contained the antidote.
おそらくな。
Most likely. Yanagi, was it? Thank you for saving my life. I was still woozy, but I managed to stand up and bow to him.
いや、俺だけの手柄じゃない。
No, I didn't do it alone. They've been running all over looking for you. I turned to look at the other two as Yanagi mentioned them. Thank you.
そんなことはどうでもいい。
Enough, who cares? We need to know why the criminals picked you. That's what I'm here for. I'm sorry. I'd like to give you an answer, but I honestly have no idea.
それで納得できるわけないだろ。
As if we can just simply accept that. You were almost killed.
殺されるだけの理由があるんだよ。そう考えるのは普通だろ。
There's obviously a reason they tried to kill you specifically. Anyone can see that. Why is he being so hostile towards me? I can't just accept that you guys showed up out of the blue either. It's not like I automatically trust you now. I'm grateful that you rescued me, but... How exactly did you get that notice about my situation in the first place?
今はこっちの質問にだけ答えろ。 お前と犯人の関係性がわからない。
I'm the one asking questions
ほい
here.
ほい情報を
I
与
can't
え
just
られ
give
ない
you
か。
intel while we don't know your relationship to the criminals.
おい、タケル。
Easy, Takeru. I see your point, but take it down a notch. Take it down a little bit.
って柳先輩。
柳？
何してるんですか？
What are you doing?
そこに銃が落ちてた。
Someone dropped a gun here. Is it the criminals or maybe... Oh, that's fine.
そうか。
I see. It isn't unusual for people to be carrying guns around here.
この銃は警察が使用しているものだな。
Isn't this a police model? It is. How did you know that?
俺が元警察官だからだ。
I used to be an officer. Huh? Yanagi let out a little chuckle when he saw my jaw drop.
信じられないなら調べてもらって構わない。
If you don't believe me, feel free to look me up. IG Yanagi, Formally Investigations, Section 1. Section 1, that's like serious crime, isn't it? A division of the Metropolitan Police Department that primarily deals with particularly heinous crimes. Each division is responsible for different types of crime, such as murder, arson, kidnapping, etc. Investigation Section 1 at HQ? That would be very easy to verify. So it was unlikely that he was lying. Plus, you dropped your notebook along with your gun.
これを見れば誰でもお前が警察官だとわかるだろう。
It'd be pretty obvious to anyone that you're police. The guy looks so smug. Like, look at him like... I'm a genius. While Yanagi talked, he opened my police notebook. Ichika... Oshino? Hmm? Excuse me?
ああ、悪い。
Right. Sorry. I took my gun and notebook back from Yanagi. I was going to ask about them once again, but my... phone began to vibrate. Pardon me. That's right, Mochida was...
誰からだ？
Who's it from? My superior. I was attacked while we were supposed to meet up in response to a call.
なら、ここに長居しない方がいい。話の続きは。
Then you shouldn't stay here too long. We'll continue this another time elsewhere.
そうっすね。ここじゃ落ち着いて話聞けなさそうだ
Right,
し。
sounds like we won't have time to chat.
こいつを野放しにするのか。
Are we just cutting her loose?
そりゃ姿くらまされたら問題だけど、ここで捕まえて無理やり連れてっても
Well, it'd be tough to hide her. Even if we took her captive, it'd just draw suspicion to her, wouldn't it?
笹塚の懸念もわからなくはない。
Sasazuka, I understand your concerns.
俺は彼女が怯えていたのが
But it doesn't seem like her fear is just an act.
彼女が何も知らない被害者なら真実を知りたいのは俺たちだけじゃない。
If she's just a victim, then we aren't the only ones here who want to know the truth. I nodded earnestly as he turned to me. I want to know what happened here too. I hate being kept in the dark like this.
笹塚、彼女は警察官だ。逃げはしない。
Sasazuka, she's a police officer. She won't run.
これまでの X デー事件の被害者は漏れなく殺されてる。
All the X-Day victims to date have been killed, without exception.
そんな中、こいつは助かる術を与えられた唯一の被害者だ。
She's the only one they gave us a way to save. Even if she's a cop, this is still suspicious.
でも柳先輩は疑ってないんすよね。
But Yanagi doesn't suspect her.
ああ、
Correct. I see no reason to suspect her right now.
信じる根拠もない。
Well, I don't see any reason not to trust her either. Or sorry, I don't see any reason to trust her either. I turned a sentence into a double negative there.
じゃあ今のところは話してもいいんじゃないの？
Well, it seems like we should just let her go for the time being, right?
こいつがこのまま行方知らずになれば捜索がかかるし、そっちの
If
が
she
やっかい
goes
じゃん。
missing now, that'll just arouse suspicion. And that would be bad for her. So... Oh, thank you for the follow. Oh, Keiko-ne-sama. I think you're the same one that I've been buying the schedules from. Thank you so much.
わかった。もういい。
Fine, I get it.
もし逃げても居場所を突き止めて洗いざらい吐かせりゃいい話だしな。
Thank you for supporting. Hope you've been enjoying using them. I have. They're very nice. Thank you so much for making such nice assets that are either free to use or are like pay to use at like a decent cost. You guys are the real MVPs of the VTubing scene. Domo arigato. Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm not running. Making you blush. Aww. Aww. You're calling me cuties, making me blush. Yeah, like San says, thank you for all your hard work. Much appreciated. Like I said, I'm not running.
星野、後で改めて向かいます。
Hoshino, we'll come get you later.
まず
For
新
now,
宿署で待機してくれるか。
could you wait at Shinjuku Station?
署にいた方がまだ気も休まるだろう。
I'm sure you'll be able to relax better there. Yeah. Hearing the tinge of concern in Yunaki's voice made me feel a little better. Though the man they called Sasazuka remained thoroughly suspicious of me, I didn't feel any of that from Yanagi. The last one was... Enomoto, right? I'm not sensing much from him. I became aware of someone observing me. Hi, can I help you? What now? He's watching me.
予告状に首輪の存在は明るみにするなってあっ
The notice said not to expose the existence of the collar, didn't it?
た。お前、
You don't look very
確かそうに
bright.
見えないし
I bet you'll find a way to get yourself killed on your own. Ooh. Well, there's always one in these dating sims that are just basically bullying you.
笹塚、そのくらいにしておけ。
Hey, that's enough, Sasazuka.
解毒はできたが、 彼女の首輪が外れたわけじゃない。少しは気遣ってやれ。
That poison was neutralized. But the collar is still around her neck. Just be careful.
まあ、予告状にも首輪を通して監視してる的なこと書かれてたしな。
Besides, they did say they'd be monitoring everything through the collar. Hoshino? As I turned to respond, Yanagi took my muffler and proceeded to cover the collar by wrapping it around my neck.
今はまだ
We don't know what the criminals want. You should keep that hidden,
首輪は隠した方がいい。
even at the station. Okay, understood.
じゃあ、俺たちは先に行く。犯人が近辺に潜んでいる可能性もあるからな。
Then we'll be heading out first.
上司と合流し。
The criminals might still be lurking around. Hurry up and rendezvous with your supervisor. Okay. After I watched the three of them leave, I looked at my phone. Mochida's been calling me repeatedly. Ooh, ouch. Checking the time, I saw that 2 hours had passed. Oh man.
星野
Mochida,
お前今までどこ
where
にい
have
たん
you
だ
been? I couldn't reach you. I thought you got caught up in an
巻き
incident.
込まれたかと思ったんだぞ
About that? I'm sorry I made you worry.
お前は真面目なやつだし安易に連絡を
You're
怠る
pretty
ようなことはしない
responsible, so I know you wouldn't just stop
何かあ
answering
った
your
んじゃない
phone.
のか
Did something happen? I'm pretty sure this is related to X Day, so I should probably report what happened. But I don't know what'll happen if I talk. Racked with indecision, I decided to... yes. How do I... There we go. Like I said, in this game, I always pick all the choices because, you know, you actually get, like, stuff out of the bad endings. So what happens if we report it? Well, obviously we're gonna die, but I should act like a police officer. This might be risky for me, but we might be able to learn something that leads to the people tied to the collar. Making up my mind, I opened my mouth. Mochida, look at this. When I removed my muffler to show the collar, Mochida tilted his head.
それ
Is that
首輪だよ
a collar? Yes, while I was waiting for you, I was ambushed. And when I woke up, this collar had been put on me. What? Who did this? Did you see their
な顔は見
face?
ていないのか
Why you? Why would anyone? I believe the culprit's tied to the X-Day cases. If we examine this collar, we might be able to... I felt a sharp pain in my neck, and my vision immediately went black.
星野おいしっかりしろ
Hoshino! What's the matter? Get it together! It was hard to breathe, and I couldn't talk. I couldn't see anything. Mochida's voice grew distant. All of my senses were failing. No, I still...
そしてあなたが自分の
When you
正義を
execute
貫いて
your own
そ
form
の
of justice, I promise we
こん
will
な
meet.
形で
Not like
直
this,
接お会いする
but
こと
in
を
person.
願って
I still haven't... Teehee! Oh, that was an obvious one, but... You gotta pick all the options in these games, you know? Alright, now the real one. Don't report it. Still, haven't learned anything.
なおこのことは
Oh,
警察
please do
に
not
口
speak
外
of
し
this
ない
to the police. We'd like to
こちら
avoid
も
taking
迷惑を
drastic
かけた
measures.
あなたも
And surely, you'd feel quite lonely if you were to lose those dear to you, right? They might still be listening, so I shouldn't speak carelessly. They said they'd be observing me through the collar. Actually, on my way to Shinjuku Garden, I came across a male student using a dog for target practice. Yeah, that is fucked up.
完全になくなりはしないか。
I thought that stuff had finally died down recently. But I suppose it still happens. When the weapon ban was lifted, all the young people want to try out their weapon in spite of the coded tracking system. Mochida knew about this happening, so it seemed like he believed me.
それで、その男子学生はどうしたんだ？話して分かってくれたのか？
So, what happened with the student? Did you talk him down? It seems like he had some pent-up stress related to his home life. I got his parents involved and talked it out. It seemed like he understood he was wrong. Just to be safe, I think I should swing by and check on them for a few days.
それがいい。冷静になってから後悔するやつも多いからな。
Yeah, that'd be good. A lot of those guys regret what they did after they calmed down. Yeah.
発砲さえしてなければまだ引き返せる。道を踏み外そうとしてる若者をお前は救ったんだ。よくやったな。
Oh, thank God, he did actually shoot the dog. Well, I mean, this is a hypothetical situation, but I am glad no puppers were harmed even in this fake incident. As long as he didn't pull the trigger, there's still time for him to change. You saved a young man who'd lost his way. Good job. That's not right at all. You were trying to reach me for a long time, Mochida. I apologize for making you worry. Really, there's no excuse for it. Stifling my guilt. Blah, 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 blah. Let's try that again. Stifling my deep guilt. I bowed my head.
まあ、お前に何もなかったならいいんだ。俺も到着がだいぶ遅れたしな。
Hey, as long as you're alright, it's fine. I was running pretty late too. Huh. Really?
ああ。
Yeah.
なんでかパド
Somehow I managed to misplace the keys to my car? Oh my god. Mochida. I was honestly a little shocked to realize how easy it was to imagine this scenario.
違うぞ。
It's not like that! I'm perfectly organized.
はずだ。
Probably. Uh-huh. Mochida was kinda clumsy, so it wasn't that unusual for him to lose things. While I was caught up in this mess, he was trying to find his keys. I wonder if someone, like, you know, actually hid his keys to make it so he couldn't meet up with her in a timely manner. Things to think about. The thought just made me exhausted.
これでも大急ぎで来たんだぞ。けどな、俺が着いた時には周囲に不審人物が
I
いなか
hauled
った。
ass to get over here, you know? But by the time I arrived, there weren't any suspicious people in the area.
ひょっとしたら揉めてるって通報もいたずら電話だったのかもしれないな。
The report about a scuffle might have just been a prank call. Oh, that's true.
が、念には念を入れて、ここら一帯をパトロールしてから帰ろう。
Just to be on the safe side, let's do a round in the car before we go back.
お前が見つけたみたいに飛行に走ろうとしてる若者がいるかもしれないしな。
There might be some more hooligans, like the one guy you found earlier trying to flee the area. Sure. Yes, sir. After that, we drove around for a while in Mochida's patrol car. We didn't see any fleeing youths around, nor did we discover anyone or anything that seemed to relate to X Day. Back at the station, I went to file a report. I picked up a pen and tried putting it to paper, but my hand wouldn't move. Working in the SRCPO, listening to citizens, writing reports. That was my daily life. But the X-Day cases... Even in this office, I never had direct contact with them. We only provide info to investigations. Still, I raised my hand to feel my neck. It really happened. Nothing felt wrong with my body anymore, but the collar put the fear of death into me. A according to those criminals, they're monitoring me right now. A small misstep could cost me my life. That thought made my hands tremble. I can't think that way. They could suspect that something's happened. I need to act normal. I just have to do what I always do. Just as I psyched myself up, I suddenly remembered that voice.
大丈夫だ。
It'll be alright.
絶対に
We've got you. It'll be alright, he said. A strong voice repeated in my head. Right. He's Eiji Yanagi, a former cop. I should verify his story. I turn on the monitor to my PC and click the icon to access the database restricted to police personnel. Detailed information will be classified, but I can find out where he was assigned. I selected the search field and typed in Yanagi IG and...
Oh, Shino.
Oh, Shino. What? I turned around in a panic. Saiki was standing right there. Saiki! I quickly moved my mouse and frantically closed the search page. You're still at work?
なんだよ、いたらいけないのか?
Am I not supposed to be? There was an urgent call earlier, so I got sent out to respond to it. That's right. I remember that Mochida mentioned that.
おかげで新しく報告書を書かなきゃでさ、こんな時間まで
So now I have to write another report. So I've been stuck at work this whole time. Really? Long day, huh?
っていうか、お前こそまだいたんだな。
Yeah, speaking of which, you're still here too. I thought you left a long time ago. I got caught up in something too, but it wasn't anything of import. I need to write a report on what happened, so I came back to the station. Oh, sounds like a rough day all around. Sure are a lot of calls today, don't you think? Well, I won't keep you any further. Just saw you and popped in to say hi. You aren't bothering me at all. You actually cheered me up a bit. Mochida, Saiki, they're the same constant, reliable people they've always been. Now that I'm in this crazy situation, I'm especially glad that these two are always there for me. Well, that's nice of you to say, but if late nights are taking a toll on you, why not ask Mochida to let you off earlier? No, I don't think I need to. I'm just throwing the idea out there. Despite his looks, Mochida's a pretty reliable guy. Besides, you look beat. You look like you had a near-death experience, girl. Huh? Don't try to fool my eyes. Let's see. You haven't had dinner yet, have you? I had a light meal. Well, it obviously wasn't enough. Your body needs fuel to do all that hard work. You gotta eat enough, and you gotta eat right. Saiki, I'm not a pig like you. A pig? Rude? I'm not that fat, you know. Saiki appraised his belly fat level while bruising at me. No! Fat shaming bad, no matter the gender. Hey, don't you laugh? Work is always intruding on my life, so I have to pay attention to my figure. Sure. And when you get fat, I'll be a good friend and let you know. That goes for you too! I won't mince words. Be ready for it. After leveling that parting shot, Saiki jogged off. Could still laugh while talking to Saiki. Classmates' bonds are powerful. Nothing has changed, but I felt like I could at least look ahead now. I turned back to my workstation and entered Yanagi ID once again. There he is. He apparently started in a local jurisdiction and was assigned to Headquarters Investigations Section 1 4 years ago. So he did work in Investigation Section 1. But he quit the force this year. He's 28. He should have had a long career ahead. None of the available information on him indicated that any problems had come up. He seemed like the most collected of the three, like someone you could count on. Frankly speaking, I didn't want to believe he was involved in anything related to X-Day. But all the X-Day incidents so far had been large events using video sharing sites, like Me Too. When an X-Day incident occurs, Adonis declares their handiwork on video sharing sites. The police filed a request for information on the uploads, but it appears Adonis obscured their IP as well. Goddamn VPNs! Would they give advance notice to specific people? I still don't know why they targeted me, so Sasuzuka's suspicions around me aren't baseless. There was just too much I didn't know. There's only so much I can learn on my own. I need to talk to Yanagi and the others. I didn't know when Yanagi's group would get me, so I texted my little brother to say I might have to stay at the station overnight. Gasp, we have a brother. He's not romanceable, don't worry. After I turned in my report to Mochida, I began drowsily nodding off at my desk. Oh man.
お迎えに上がりました。囚われのお姫様。いや、眠そうだから眠り姫かな。
So, fun fact, this is the guy who does the Japanese dub of Child from Genshin Impact. I've come to escort you, my captive princess. Oh, I guess you're Sleeping Beauty now. Huh? I think he likes cats. I'm not sure, though. I looked in the direction of the voice and gazed upon a man in a white coat. You are?
ごめんごめん。自己紹介が先だった。
I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself first. Kakeyuki Shiraishi, 29.
警視庁の科学捜査研究所所属。今は新宿署で機動捜査支援係を担当しています。
My name is Kakeyuki Shiraishi. I run the field ops support team for Shinjuku Station.
よろしくね。
Nice to meet you, Miss... Oh, hi. Ichika Hoshino, Special Regions Crime Prevention, Local Office.
ああ、そうそう。
Ah, right. That was your name. I'd heard that CSIs had been temporarily assigned to Shinjuku Station to deal with the X-Day cases. CSI? Oh my god, they made a loan entry for CSIs. CSIs are crime scene investigators, are forensic scientists who primarily study evidence left behind during a crime. Originally, the CSIs were not with the police force and did not have the authority to investigate matters. However, in recent years, CSIs can head directly to the scene of the crime to assist in the investigation. Ah, I see. So, he's one of them. Saiki told me once before that the Field Operations Support Team, aka Field Support, was full of eccentrics. Damn! These hair clips. That cat tie pin. He does look rather odd. Yeah, he's got Anya hair. Like he's got like those little like triangle cat ear things on his head. But why is field support coming to talk to SRCPO? I don't think there's anything here for field support to pick up.
言ったでしょ。
As I said,
俺は君を迎えに来たんだよ。
I'm here to pick you up. Huh?
あれ、まだわからない。
What?
ああ、奥の手を使っちゃおうかな。
You still don't get it? Then I guess I'll have to use my last resort. Shiraishi then mouthed a word at me without making a sound. Collar. Yubi. I think that's the word for collar in Japanese. I know yubi is rain. And I think necklace is... It's not kuchi yubi. Oh my god, what is it? I know this word. Because it's like the word for neck and then rain. Oh yeah, kubi kazari. Or kubiwa. Kubiwa. That's what it would be. It's a collar. Alright. Kubiwa. Kubiwa. I was close! I said yubiwa, which would be like a finger ring, but it's kubiwa. My mind came to an immediate halt. Oh!
それ以上はダメ。君、死にたいの？
Not another word. Do you wanna die?
お静かに。でないと死にますよ。
Reminded of the voice from before, I started trembling.
震えちゃってかわいいな。
You're trembling.
俺が知っても君は死なない。
That is quite closer. Yup. It's what is personal space? You're trembling. How cute. But you can relax now. You won't die. Even though I know.
俺の役目はね、君を柳くんたちの隠れ家へ連れて行ってあげることなんだ。
My job is to take you over to their hideout. Finally, I understood what Yanagi meant when he said they'd come and get me. So there's more than 3 of them. And they have somebody in the station working with them?
にしても君もついてないね。いきなり非日常に放り込まれ
You're a Fuka at a 4-person persona party? Excellent. Congratulations. Fuka is crazy, you're right. You're probably feeling hesitant. After all, you're in a pretty odd situation.
いつどんなタイミングで死が訪れるかわからないって。
Hey, how does it feel that you could... How does it feel to know that you could basically die at any moment? Come on. Tell me. Tell you? Yeah, 3G's kind of broken. It is. It is. Of course, of course. The man flashed a pretty smile, but I sensed something unfathomable from him. Is this really something someone would ask, knowing the situation I'm in? My speechlessness only seemed to cause Shiraishi's grin to widen.
教えてくれないんだ。残念だな。面白そうなのに。
You won't tell me? Oh, too bad. It sounds so interesting. Interesting? That's the last thing I'd call this.
あ、そうなの？
Oh,
でもさ、
really?
ものは考えようだよ。
But think about
死
it.
に直面する
It's
機
not
会
every
なんて
day that you
普通に
to
生き
come
てたら
face to
め
face
っ
with
たにない
death.
からね。だからさ、
So,
俺、君にすっ
I'm
ごく興味がある。
really interested in you
どこかに閉
I
じ
want to
込め
lock
て一
you
日
up
中観察したいくらい。
and study you all day. That was supposed to be a joke, right?
さあ、どうだろうね。
Well, you can say. Am I a yandere or a tsundere? With a suggestive smile, he finally let go of my finger.
じゃあ、一緒に柳くんのところに行こうか。準備ができたら、機動操作支援係まで来てね。
Let's go see Yanagi. When you're ready, come to field support. Without waiting for my response, Shiraishi left. What in the world was that? As I started to think, I touched my neck. I won't solve anything by sitting here and thinking. I need to meet Yanagi's group. I got ready to leave and proceeded to head over to the door with a plate that read Field Operations Support. I took a deep breath and knocked.
Hi.
Hello? Yes? A female voice answered.
お待たせしました。何か?
She's pretty! Sorry for the wait. Can I help you? Good evening. I'm Ichika Hoshino from the Special Regions Crime Prevention Office.
独房の方が訪ねていらっしゃるとは珍しいですね。
It's rather unusual for SRCPO, not to be confused with C3PO, to come knocking here. Eriko Mukai.
私は白石主任の世話をしております。向井恵理子と申します。
I'm Eriko Mukai. I take care of Director Shiraishi. Director? That guy's actually a big shot.
それでご用件は?
Oh, I have business with Mr. Shiraishi. Is he in?
主任ですね。少々お待ちください。
The director? A moment, please. You have a lot of things saved up and that you can't use. Well, ain't that the suffering of being successful, huh? Mukai disappeared into the room. And then...
主任、お客様です。お待たせしては失礼ですので、今すぐにこちらに来てください。
You have a guest. It's rude to make her wait, so you better get out here right now.
失礼なのは君だよ。誰が誰の世話をしてるって？
You're awfully rude. Who do you say takes care of whom?
あら、おかしいですね。事実ですが。
Oh, was that unbecoming of me? It is the truth.
はいはい。今はそういうことにしといてあげる。
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
それじゃあ行こうか。向井さん、お疲れ様。
Well then, we'll be off. Good work today, Mukai.
お疲れ様です。
And you too. Excuse us. While we walked together, Shiraishi simply looked forward silently. Why does the director dude look like grown-up gender bent Aya? I made that comment as well. He, if I remember correctly, he really likes cats. So he just wears a bunch of cat things. So those hair clips are meant to be like cat ears. We hadn't known each other very long, so we didn't have much to discuss. He's the male version of A-Set. A-Set, you bet! Give or take, yeah, he's very smart though, but he is very eccentric. It's one of those situations. What is it, like water, wet, bet, A-Set? I don't remember the cheers. on top of the situation was getting agonizing, so I tried to initiate small talk with him. Ask him about cats. I'm sure that'll get him to say something. So Miss Mukai called you director back at the station. It's just a rank. You cops have them too, don't you? Like officer, sergeant, or inspector. The people in the crime lab work for the police, but they aren't police officers. So that did explain how Shiraishi had become director. I might have been impolite to Shiraishi when he came to see me. But he was acting really weird too, saying stuff like he just wants to lock me up. What's wrong? It's nothing. Are you that surprised that I'm the director? No, it was just oops. Oh, really? A shady-looking character like me doesn't fit your image of a director? I never said that! That just means you were thinking it, weren't you? Oh, so that's how it is. I see. You judge people based on their appearances. Well, I do the same, so it's not bad. I tried to lie to him, but all I did was dig my own grave. I wish he wasn't so critical of other people too. When I heard he was a director, I expected more from him, so I was a little disappointed. Damn. Just tell him how you really feel at this point. Before long, we reached an intersection a good distance from the police station. When we paused to wait for the signal, I heard a heavy sigh next to me. My goodness. I wish I could just keep studying you with no one else around to interrupt. Study? Something felt off about him the moment we met, and I finally realized that I was like an interesting lab subject to him. We're guinea pigs! At least we're cute. He's obviously enjoying this, while my life hangs in the balance. Determined not to be jerked around, I changed the subject. We were already outside of Shinjuku Station, so I should be able to ask about the others. Hey. I will be answering any questions about Yanagi and friends, okay? Huh? I was stunned that I was denied so abruptly. Are you surprised that I read your mind? How did you know? It's my job. I study people in order to analyze their actions. Ah, he's a profiler. Yep, you're a profiler? Correct. I look at data to build criminal profiles and attempt to see into their minds. That's what profiling is. While more and more investigations have utilized a profiler recently, those annoyed by the book investigators from Section 1 don't really let me do what I want. Shiraishi sighed, disappointment on his face. Well, this might be the perfect timing. If I don't take a break soon, I'm probably going to snap. Slightly frightened by Shiraishi's cheerful tone, I revisited the topic. When you figured out what I was thinking, did you analyze me? I didn't need to do that. You're just really easy to read. That's not True.
そんなことあ
It
るって
absolutely
君は
is.
さっきから俺のことばかり
The whole
気
time
に
we've
して
been
そのくせ
talking, you've
なか
been
なか口を
bothered by
開こう
me,
と
so
し
we
ない
haven't been able to have a good conversation.
知り合って間もない相手と距離を縮めようと考えを巡らせていたみた
I
い
figured that you just try to break the ice by trying to initiate conversation.
大抵そういった場合
Typically,
口をつく
people
のは
in that
当たり
frame of
障り
mind
のない
attempt to make small talk.
場合同じ部署なら仕事の話が触れるけど君とは部署が違うあと残されてるのはこういう
If we worked in the same department, you'd try and talk shop, but we don't. The most common topic you'd have left would be mutual acquaintances.
この状況下で君が俺と柳君たちの関係性
I'd say a most likely course of action would be to ask about my relationship to Yanagi's group.
そして
It would get rid of the awkward silence. You'd get the information you wanted. It'd be ideal.
ま
Anyway, I won't delve into any details until we meet Yanagi. Like I said, Ichika, you should have asked him about cats. It kind of feels like he's making a fool out of me. He is making a fool out of you, sweetheart. Like, there's no ifs or ands about it.
そんなにむすっ
Oh, don't make that
他
pouty
人を分
face.
析するのは
Analysis is
職業病
just
みた
an
いなもんだ
occupational disease of mine.
それに君のそのあけすけなまでの分かりや
Besides,
すさ
I'm rather fond of that transparent unreservedness of yours. That can't be a compliment.
そんなことないぞバカな
That's
こ
not
と
it at all. I guess I should say you're so cute, you're dumb. I blew past fear. I was just astonished now at how thoroughly he could read my thoughts. Oh. The light changed and Shiraishi walked away. I intentionally fell behind, allowing a bit of distance between us as we walked. And he is well aware of that too. After that, we arrived at a corner that was lined with old buildings. This area was lively earlier, but it was now utterly devoid of foot traffic and shrouded in ominous darkness.
着いたよ
We're here. Shiraishi pointed to our building with shuttered windows on the first floor.
このビルの5階で柳君たちが君の到着を首をな
On the fifth floor of this building, Yanagi and the others have been awaiting your arrival. I don't expect much of a welcome.
あ今嘘くさいって思ったでしょ傷つく
Oh, you just thought I was lying, didn't you? You wound me, madame. Huh? No, I didn't.
はい嘘
Yeah, I was lying.
入る前に一つだけい
Anyway,
いか
one thing before you go. What? What could it be now? Seeing my obvious apprehension, Shiraishi chuckled.
ここからは俺を上の人間だと思わなくていい
From now on, don't think of me as a superior. Meaning?
ここでの俺は警察職員じゃなく
There's
て
no hierarchy of
柳
the
君た
police
ちと同
department.
じ立場になるってことだよ
I'm just another member of the team. I see.
んそれじゃ入ろうか
Yep, well, let's go in. Hop, hop. Oh, wait! I darted after Shiraishi, who had suddenly entered the building. Then I noticed the tenant's nameplate. 5th floor. Detective agency?
ああその表札は名前だけだから気にしないでそれより早くしないと置いてっちゃうよ
Oh, that's a name. Don't worry about it. If you don't hurry, you'll fall behind. I hurriedly ran up the stairs after Shiraishi in a panic. And then... I finally set foot into my destination for the evening.
来たな
You came.
好きなところに座ってくれ
Just sit wherever you like. Ah. Okay. In the room were the 3 men I met at Shinjuku Garden, along with Shiraishi. Their expressions were all different, but I felt they were all sizing me up. I couldn't help but feel unwelcome. You could cut the tension with a knife. Pardon me, today she must. At a loss for what to do, I took a seat on the sofa nearest me and watched Yanagi. Well, the mood seemed a bit chillier than it was during our first encounter. This atmosphere is so heavy. Just then, Shiraishi emerged from behind a partition with a cup of coffee. He set it down in front of me and then slowly took a seat next to Yanagi on the arm of the sofa. He even purchased like a cat. It's okay. They're all good guys, despite their looks. I hope that's true. Whoops. Just spit it out so we can be done with this. We don't have the time to waste on you. Sasuzuka coldly prodded me to speak without even glancing up from the computer he was using. You want to get out of here too, right? True, but... No. We won't get anything out of her if you're gonna be a grouch. We came all this way to be free from prying eyes after all. Wouldn't now be a good opportunity to examine her collar? Sorry, the audio balance of this game is not great, so I'm fussing with it a little. Hopefully that's a bit better. I was hearing some crackling start, so... Shiraishi, don't tell me you brought her here just for that. I sure did. What's the problem with that? It doesn't help that the music goes up and down as they talk. Oh, so true. In some games, I think they have settings that let you adjust the music and the voice, so... I'll check that when we do Little Busters, and I mean, if we ever come back to this game again, I'll, see if I can figure out the audio balance a bit. My gloomy mood abruptly turned to anger. I didn't have the luxury of being toyed with, and I was not in the mood. I couldn't just simply trust people who would let Shiraishi behave like this. I opened my mouth to vent my roiling indignation. Why don't we introduce ourselves first? We may very well end up all working together soon. The shock from both the statement and being interrupted made my eyes go wide. Working together? What do you mean? Without answering my question, Yanagi simply laid a sheet of paper on the table. When I picked it up, I saw it was written with the same red lettering as the earlier note. We have seen that you possess the skill to assist Ichika Hoshino. She is one of our sympathizers and a woman with the potential to inherit our will, so treat her with courtesy. Oh, apparently the cult is claiming that we're one of them. Should any harm come to her, we will have no choice but to kill you all. Calling me a sympathizer and threatening them? I was racked with shock, fear, and confusion. Yeah, I guess this is why Sasuzuka suspected us. My hands trembled, but I kept reading. The note continued. Nonetheless, we bear no ill will toward your group. On the contrary, we would prefer to join hands. You, who question the form of righteousness that the police cling to, would surely find our concept of justice more agreeable. course, we do not expect you to be persuaded by mere words. So, please try to grasp the truth of the X-Day incidents. Discover our true intentions. You have until midnight on January 1st. We'll be watching you via Ichika Hoshino. What on earth do these people want? Joining hands? Does that mean these people are potential murderers too? And there's not a word about the collar. They said they'd be watching me through. So I'm going to be wearing it forever? Disturbed, I put down the letter. Sasuzuka spoke instantly, as if he was waiting for me.
これで今回のことを仕組んだ人間とお前が繋がってる可能性が高くなったな。
So now we know there's a high probability that you're connected to the culprits. What? Don't go assuming that on your own! I raised my voice at him without thinking. But I hadn't joined the X-Day thugs at all, so I couldn't let unchecked accusations stand. She doesn't seem like she's lying. Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man. We don't know anything for sure. Are you trying to sound cool?
あれ、珍しいな。榎本くんが俺を否定するなんてさ。
Oh? It's pretty unusual for you to contradict me, Enomoto.
Huh?
Oh? No. I wasn't trying to criticize you, Shiraishi.
ただ、嘘を見抜かせないようにとか、そういうことできる人間もいるし。
It's
他人の
just
本質なんてわからないもんだ。
there's some people here who can't see through eyes. Can't see through eyes? Damn. It's just there's some people here who can't see through lies is all. We don't know what type of person she is. And Enomoto looked glum. Seeing that gave me a different image of him than I had earlier. They might have their own set of unfortunate circumstances. But that doesn't mean I can let them pin this all on me. We don't know what the criminals want, but... I sat on the sofa and looked at Yanagi. He nodded in understanding.
可能性の話はいくらでもできる。まずは彼女の話を聞いてからだ。
We can theorize our eyes until eternity. Let's hear what she has to say first. Hoshino, could you tell us in detail what happened back in Shinjuku Garden? They mentioned justice in this letter. When the criminals spoke to me through the collar, they were fixated on justice too. When the collar was put on me, the criminals spoke to me for a little bit. Synopsis! It felt like I was being interrogated. As I stated, I had no clue why I was targeted. I did understand the criminals' claims. And as a police officer, that I'd done no wrong.
お前の言い分は分かった。
I understand what you're saying.
こっちとしても、お前と犯人がつな
Don't
がってる
have any solid evidence that connects you to the criminals other than their word.
放っておくつもりもない。
We can't just assume that you're with them.
柳先輩。
Yanagi?
榎本。
Enomoto? Even if she is a spy, did we reveal any intel to the criminals that would cause any problems for us?
疑うのはいつでもできる。
Feel free to suspect her if you want, but I feel like we won't get anywhere until we trust her.
X デイ事件を追うのも大事だが、その首輪について調べるべきだ。
Our pursuit of the X-Day incidents is important, but we should also look at that collar of yours.
星野、お前の本意じゃないとしても。
Hoshino?
犯人につながる大事な手がかりだからな。
Even though it was unintentional on your part, that collar's a great lead on the criminals.
ま、利用できるなら使うべきだな。
I say we should make use of whatever we have. I'm also sure that you aren't going to be able to relax until we do something about it. That's true. Imagine trying to sleep with that thing on. He's actually concerned for my safety. Even though the collar and its ties to the culprit was what they were interested in, it was still very heartening to hear him actually worry about my well-being. But if you're going to examine the collar... That actually gave me a little jump scare. I need to mention something. Surprise! A sudden voice made itself known and directed everybody's attention to my collar. It is futile to try to attempt to remove the collar. If you insist on trying, we cannot guarantee her safety. You are free to examine it, but if you do anything to inconvenience us, you will be putting her life in jeopardy. Please investigate the X-Day incidents. Once you learn the truth, I'm sure you will exact your form of justice. You will learn whether or not you believe it is right to oppose our will. So, was that them just now? A warning or a threat, one might say? They bothered to wait until we'd all gathered. They sure craved the spotlight. Hoshino, are you alright? Yeah, sorry, the criminals are monitoring everything about me through the collar. It was the first time they contacted me since I was paralyzed. It looks like they wanted everyone to be sure that they're always watching. I started to feel that this was hopeless, and I run my hands in my lap.
手を取り合いたいなんて言われても願い下げだっつうの。やめたとはいえ、俺たちだって警察の一員だったんだぜ。
Well, working together with them is definitely off the table. Even though we all quit, we were cops once, right? I looked up. All of you were police? I did verify that Yanagi was a former officer. Enomoto and Sasazuka, were you two also police officers? Well.
バカが。
Dumbass.
そのアホな口、縫い付けてこい。
Should I just sew your mouth shut? Oh, my tongue just slipped. Just one slip. So it's true then. When I pressed him on it, Enomoto looked to Yanagi in a plea for support.
隠すことでもないだろう。調べようと思えばすぐわかることだ。
We can't hide it, can we? All she has to do is look us up at the station.
それと、物はついでだ。二人とも、星野に自己紹介しておけ。
Right, we should get this over with. You two, introduce yourself to Hoshino.
何にしろ、彼女との接点はこれから増えることになるだろうからな。
After all, we're probably going to be seeing her a lot more often now. Roger that. Enomoto quietly cleared his throat. Then he turned to me and made eye contact. Literally one eye. He took a deep breath.
耳かっぽすってよく聞きな。元第二機動捜査隊所属。かの前田刑事に勝るとも劣らねえ歌舞伎者。
Right, he's a clown. Field Ops 2 unit is the enforcement arm. They are mainly in charge of reported cases. Kabukimono were flamboyant, flashy samurai prevalent during the end of the Warring States period to the early Edo period. They were known for the ostentatious manners and style. Ah, fair enough.
捕らえた犯人は数知れず、一気当選、百花繚乱のいぶし銀。星に悠然と立ち向かう男の中の男。
A man among men. The crooks have arrested are without number, assigning silver samurai worth 100 cops. A paragon standing alone neath the stars. He's got a fan.
榎本峰歌、この俺のことや。よく覚えておきな、新人ちゃん。
That is I, Minio Inamoto. Don't you forget it, rookie. He sure is proud of himself. Why all the kabuki mannerisms? Oh, he did say he's a kabukimono.
まともに相手しないでいいよ。
Hey, you don't need to humor him.
彼は天然っていうか
I don't know if he's got a talent or a condition, but he's a subject I like to observe at a distance. Right. Don't mind him, Hoshino. That's just how Inamoto hides his nerves. He's just a bit of an awkward guy. Him right now, honestly. He's all puffed up.
バカの極みとも言うけどな。
Paragon? Paragon of nincompoops, maybe. Damn, they really use nincompoops in a sentence.
決まった。これ以上なく決まったぜ。じゃあ次、タケルの番だ。
Oh yeah? I will not tolerate any further slights. Anyway, it's your turn, Takeru. Quite obviously, Sasuzuka Takeru, 24, formerly Cyber Crimes. I was in the Cyber Crimes division. Takeru Sasuzuka, that's all. We got a computer boy! Cyber Crimes Division is a part of the Safety Department that deals with high-tech crimes such as illegal systems access and information technology crimes. Okay. Inamoto's introduction was so dynamic that this feels somewhat lacking. Zon, do you have a fave now? Thinking back to what I'd overhear in the office, I remember hearing about cybercrime prevention a few times. If I recall correctly, that division was quite difficult to get into. His skills must be the real deal if he got in at his age. Anyway, it couldn't be a coincidence that everyone here was related to the police. Is the reason you all quit the force because you question the righteousness of the police? Like the letter mentioned? I knew I was prying, but I figured I might as well take a shot. You miss all the shots you don't take. Sasuzuka and Inamoto averted their eyes. Maybe they didn't want to talk about it. Only Yanagi looked at me in the eyes and answered my question. It's true that we all quit for our own individual reasons. I couldn't follow the department's policy. I wouldn't be able to solve the cases as a police officer. So, I left on my own, and I've continued to pursue it on my own. I see. They obviously all had their own baggage. This was why all these fellow ex-officers had gravitated to each other to pursue the case. I could understand that much.
ねえ、そこの3人はともかくさ、
Hey,
この手を
setting
取
you
り合
three
いたい
aside
って
for
中
a
に
moment.
俺も含まれてるのかな
Do you think the bad guys included me when they were talking about joining hands? Shiraishi spoke flippantly while waving the note around as if to break the tense mood. Oh, right. In his own eccentric way, Shiraishi brought up a very valid point. Shiraishi, you still work with the police. So how did you know about all this? If the messages are to be trusted, I'll be killed if the police know about this.
なんでも何も1通目の手紙、君を殺すっていう予告状は俺が仕事でやった
Somehow, the first letter, the one that said you were dying, was slipped into some case files that I was handling. Oh, that's sus.
捜査一課から届けられた資料だったんだけど、ご丁寧に探偵事務所様って宛名付きでね。
They were documents I got from Section 1, but they were addressed to a detective agency.
だからここのメンバーである俺が柳君たちに伝えて君を探し当てた。
So I, as a member of this agency, took it to the others, and then we found you.
警察に知らせたら女性を殺すってあるんだよ。報告なんてできない。
A woman would die if the police found out, right? Obviously, I couldn't call it in. He smiled as he said that, so it seemed to me that he was more amused than concerned. It still doesn't feel right to me that a current police employee is involved here.
そして2通目。さっき見せた手紙はお前を見つけて新宿園から帰ってきたら。
And the second letter you saw was left on the table in this office after we found you at Shinjuku Garden. Huh. The first letter was a notice. So the second one was deliberately planted here after they confirmed my rescue? The first letter leads me to believe someone currently in Investigations HQ was involved. But to leave the second letter here in this office... Did the person who put this collar on me come here before the others had returned? That seemed unrealistic. That culprit would have needed to track these three to avoid encountering them. What's suspicious is... there were too many possibilities. But one suspicion grew within my mind. Well, lady who's been turned into a pet cat? Can we examine your collar? Huh? My head snapped her attention after I heard Sasuzuka's sudden remark.
Sasuzuka?
Now hold on a second. Why are you calling me a pet cat? Can't you see it? There's a picture of a cat on your collar. What? I didn't want people to see the collar, so I did my best to hide it.
それに、お前が倒れていた場所にも X デイ事件の現場にいつも置かれているコイン。
Also, one of the standard X-Day calling cards, a coin, was left at the site where you went down.
その首輪と同じような猫のモチーフとアネモネの花があしらわれた。
The coins have the same cat motif as your collar, with an anemone flower in the back. Adonis has adopted this as its symbol. The flower contains a chemical called reniculin, which enzymatically breaks down into the toxic protoanemonin. In florography, it has the meaning of fleeting dream or fleeting hope.
X デイ事件の主犯と言われてるテロ組織アドニスのシンボルな。お前も見たことくらいあんだろ。
It's the symbol of the terrorist group claiming responsibility for X-Day, Adonis. You've probably seen it before. Yeah.
持ち帰って白石に調べてもらったが、これまでの事件現場に置かれていたコインと一致した。
I had Shiraishi examine it back at the station. It it's the same coin as the ones that were left at the crime scenes.
X Day のカウントダウンを表すローマ数字はなかった。
But there wasn't a Roman numeral counting down to X Day this time.
これが12月の事件になるなら1の数字が残されてるはずなんだ。
If this was to be the December incident, there should have been a 1 written there.
その首輪開けだと模倣犯って線も考えられるけど、コインが一致したってことは。
If it was just the collar, we could possibly dismiss this as a copycat crime. But that coin means...
実行犯は間違いない。X デー事件の関係者ってことだ。
The perpetrator is related to the X Day cases, without a doubt.
人のセリフ取るなよ。しかも一番いいところだ
Don't
った
steal
のに。
my line, man! I was building up to the best part!
知るか。
Like I care. It's your own fault for squandering the moment. I sort of felt bad for Inamoto, but I also really didn't think this was the time. Somebody related to X-Day put this collar around my neck. That means finding out who did this will be no easy task. The entire police force was investigating X-Day, and they got it nowhere. There was only so much headway I'd be able to make on my own. So, the collar? Can we see it? Huh? Sasuzuka raised his voice again, irritated. I sat there, not understanding the question. The voice from the collar said that we were free to examine it.
いやでもまずくね。あっちの不利益になるようなら殺すみたいなこと言ってたし。
No, but isn't this a bad idea? They also said they'd kill her if we caused any trouble for them.
無理に外そうとしたら殺す。でも調べるのは自由にしろ。バカにはこの違いはわかんねえだろ。
They'll kill her if we try to take it off, but we're also free to examine it. There's obviously a difference, idiot.
つまりどういうこと？
So, what does that mean?
調べられるもんなら調べてみろってことだ。
It's a test. They're daring us to figure out what we can.
さすがにリスクが高すぎる。相手の判断基準もつかめないうちから無茶はするべきじゃない。
I think the risk is too great. We don't understand how they think yet, so we shouldn't take any unnecessary risks.
何もクラッキングするわけじゃねえよ。首輪が無線で電波を発してるなら種類を調べるくらいできる。
I won't be cracking anything. We can at least check for the type of EM waves coming off the collar.
どれだけ大層な防御なのかも知っておいて損はないしな。
It wouldn't hurt to see just what kind of countermeasures they've built into it. I wasn't able to keep up with the conversation at all.
柳さん、やりたくないならやらない。事件の捜査に戻るだけだ。
Yanagi, if you say to leave it be, I will. We can just go back to pursuing the case.
星野、笹塚の腕は信用できる。任せてみる気はない。
Hoshino, you can trust Sasuzuka. Do you want him to take a look? It's not dangerous, is it?
犯人の目的はお前を殺すことじゃない。ルールに反さなければ。
The criminal's goal isn't to kill you. You'll be okay as long as we obey their rules. Do you understand?
その相手が
Yes.
調べるのは自由にしろ。
They said we're free to examine the collar. As Sasuzuka said, they're sure we won't find them. But we should at least get a sense of its general structure. Because I think it'll be important. Yanagi was persuasive. They could kill me whenever they felt like it. So there had to be a reason they had it yet. That was a weakness we could exploit.
危険がゼロとは言えない。怖ければ無理にやらなくていい。
I won't say that this is without risk. It's your life at stake, so we won't force you.
自分で決めろ。
Make up your mind. I'll wait 10 seconds. Are they going to force me or not? 10 seconds? What's wrong with this guy?
それ以上待たせたら俺が決める。
Make me wait any longer, and I'll decide for you. There was poison in the collar. I haven't been able to relax since it was put on 10 seconds. Yeah, this guy's like... I hate indecisiveness. Make up your mind. We're wasting daylight. I don't know when I'll be killed. If that's the case, please do it, Sasuzuka, and please don't provoke them. I had no idea how he would examine it. I didn't know anything about his skills, but I thought it was the right call because Yanagi said we'd be collaborating from now on. Too late! 10 seconds was up a while ago. Whoa, man, you've never waited for anyone. My life is on the line after all. Oh, they called him on his bluff. Oops. Please, Sasuzuka. Got it. While Sasuzuka was fiddling with his computer, I couldn't move a millimeter. Would the final sting of pain come? Would the collar miraculously fall free? With a grunt, Sasuzuka stopped typing, and the clacking of the keyboard ceased. Well, I got the gist of it. A complete failure, huh? Must be pretty sophisticated if even you couldn't deal with it. Seriously, man? Takeru? Did you get anything? Shut up! I said I got the gist of it. So which is it? Sasuzuka speaks vaguely when he's frustrated. It's advanced. I could penetrate the security if I was prepared to break it, but she'll die if I do. Learning that security is impervious to you is a different type of success, He does have a point. One more thing. It doesn't have a camera. Ooh, that's great intel, as expected from genius hacker Takeru-kun! I'll post what you have on your PC. Ooh, please, anything but that! Not my porn! Not my porn! I don't get all of it, but the collar didn't react to whatever he tried. I wouldn't die from anything that he did. I could take some relief from that at least. Still, even a programmer as skilled as Sasuzuka was unable to glean any valuable information. So it won't come off easily. No need to be so disappointed. That collar is connected to X Day, so it should lead us to other clues down the road. I nodded in response to Yanagi's concern. Hey, give me your phone. I didn't notice Sasuzuka had gone so close, and I jumped at hearing his voice so near. Huh? My phone? Yes, your phone. Hurry up. Why? I suggest you do as he says. Sasuzuka is nearly at the limits of his patience. In conclusion, I looked pleadingly to Yanagi, and he just nodded in resignation. You were put to sleep at Shinjuku Garden. During that time, they might have bugged you. I quickly took out my phone. Sasuzuka immediately snatched it away. Hey! Can't you understand anything unless people spell it out for you? Pain in the ass. Shush! With that, he took my phone and went back to his desk. I may be a little on the slow side, but none of these people tell me anything. Especially Sasuzuka. others obviously knew what he wanted, so I probably just wasn't following him. I stifled my protests and sat quietly, watching Sasuzuka go to work.
穴だらけのセキュリティだな。
This thing's security is riddled with holes. With that brief comment, Sasuzuka tossed my phone back to me. I looked at the screen and saw that a sketchy-looking app had been installed on my phone. I don't know what he did, but he blocked the phone tap they were using for interception, I think. In this context, interception is when someone receives a wireless transmission that was not meant for you without the permission of the third party. Ah, right. So, getting copies of her text messages and all that stuff.
眠らされてる間にいじられてなくても、遠隔でデータ抜くなんて簡単にできる。
Even when you aren't unconscious, people still have ways of spying on you. Pay more attention. It was correct, but he was being such an ass that I couldn't just accept what he said.
やり方は乱暴だが、腕は確かだ。
Sasuzuka's people skills need some work, but his tech skills are sound. Just let it slide. Yanagi's words did nothing to reassure me. I only felt more uneasy around this group.
じゃあ俺はこれまで通り8月の捜査を続ける。
I'll go back to investigating the August case. Even the perps are asking me to. Is everybody here investigating the X-Day incidences? But how?
うるせえな。
God, just shut up already. Use your brain already, you stupid cat. What the hell was that for?
そうやってムキになる姿は毛を逆立てた猫みたいだけどね。
Ouch, right? When your emotions run high, you really do resemble a cat with its fur on end.
ついに猫呼ばわりかよ。
Is that what we're calling her now? They're not listening to me at all. Ah, a bunch of men in their 20s just doing whatever comes to their mind. Good times. To investigate the case on their own, they all must have considerable skills. But I didn't feel any concern for me or any sense of cooperation from them. Maybe it's because they suspect me, but I really just want to know what's happening. When I shot a pleading look to Yanagi, he sighed. Each of us are investigating different cases, and each of them is X-Day cases. I'm researching the incidents as a whole. Inamoto is on April and May, Sasuzuka is on August, as he mentioned, and Shiraishi is on September and October. September and October? I thought that the September suspect died and nothing actually happened in October, did it?
カウントダウンと言っておきながら10月だけ何も起こさないなんてあ
Do
り
you
えない。
really think that nothing happened in October despite all their talk of a countdown? There's something off about that. They were suspicious about that very thing, even at the station. A countdown video was issued for October, but no relevant incidents had been reported. Just means no one found the body. But you have to work on the cases that you've been assigned by the police department, don't you?
仕事はきちんと
Oh, I do my job. I
与
do
えられた仕事
all the work I'm given, that is.
ここだと誰に縛られるわけでもないし、俺なりに操作できるから
Out here, there's no red tape, so I'm free to investigate whatever I want. Are you really allowed to do that as a police employee? No.
だから言ったでしょここでの俺は
Didn't I tell you? I'm not a police employee here. I'm one of Yanagi's precious team members.
大事なはやめろ。
Stop saying precious, it's creepy. Aww, come on, don't be a stranger. I don't understand what's happening here. I had many more questions, but I felt like I wouldn't get anything from Shiraishi. He would definitely just give me some kind of flippant response or spout sophisms. Anyway, I must solve the problem I've been given. To sum up everything I've learned so far, the culprits who attacked me were undoubtedly related to X-Day. Those criminals were aware that Yanagi's group of ex-officers was investigating X-Day. On top of that, they were pushed into a course of action that possibly led me to join them. The criminals claimed that this group that was investigating the case had the same ideals as the criminals. But still, that doesn't explain Shiraishi, who's still employed by the police. He said that he discovered the first letter and took it to Yanagi. I couldn't imagine that he just did that of his own volition. It would have been easy for Shiraishi to plant the letter in this office. Shiraishi burst into laughter when he saw me looking at him with narrowed eyes. You really are easy to read. Are you suspecting me now? Guilty as charged. Well, that's what I get for trying to hide it. Might as well. I was a little scared, but I screwed up my courage and just said what I was thinking. Shiraishi, you're obviously taking a lot of pleasure in my reactions. Why wouldn't I be suspicious of you? Very true. And if I was with the criminals, you might have forced me to hit this trigger I was hiding to kill you, right? Now. I saw Shiraishi's eyes narrow and I instinctively flinched. Stop teasing her, Shiraishi. Hoshino isn't a toy for you. Well, you say that, but she's just so fun to scare. He's just screwing with me. I was done letting this jerk rile me up. I shot a hostile glare towards Yanagi, who spoke very deliberately. This is all we can tell you for now. We'll investigate all the incidences. What are you going to do? Everyone turned to look at me. In order to remove the collar, the best course seems to be discovering the truth behind X-Day. And we can't even tell the police. What can I possibly contribute to the investigation of this difficult case? Adding to my burden of self-doubt, the men gathered before me had all been researching the X-Day cases from the start. It was like a well-organized production. We can't rule out the possibility that the criminals will contact you again. You shouldn't travel alone if possible. Minagi's sentence was immediately interrupted by the window abruptly opening. Ah, there he is, the Yukikaji! Oh, a guest! How unusual. Oh, guy climbed to the 5th floor! What? This is the 5th floor! How did he get in here? Who is that? Oh, not again! Trespassing is illegal, you know. To my surprise, I hastily hid my collar, but this seemed to be a familiar occurrence to the others, and they didn't react much. Huh? Sorry for surprising you like that. I gasped when I saw what the man who had climbed into the room was wearing. He's wearing police and SP badges. Is this man part of your team? In response to my question, everyone else in the room made complicated expressions. If you guys have guests, should I come back later? I'd appreciate that. Also, and I tell you this every time, use the door. But sometimes it's closed, and I can't always get in. Anyway, just go home for today.
Hi.
Okie dokie! He smiled and used the door to exit the premises instead of the window. Every time, you gotta admit, the guy's sharp. This guy's too much of a ghost. I wonder if he even actually left. While Sasuzuka left the room to check, Hanagi spoke. That guy works in the security police division at HQ. He's covering us while we investigate. His name's Kei Okazaki. Huh. Covering you? The police are giving you protection while you freelance? Well, that's what Okazaki claims, but who can really know if what he's saying is the truth? As for why an SB officer has been attached to us, we don't know what the police's intentions are. I see. HQ Security Police Division, or SP for short. Normally, their job was to protect VIPs and endangered individuals. Do the police have a reason to protect them? Since we have no idea what the police's intentions are, we can't let Kei Okazaki know about you. If he learns about the caller, it'll be bad. The criminals told us not to tell the police, so we can't complicate things by telling him. Okay. He didn't seem that sharp to me, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Entering by the window was pretty suspicious. One can never be too cautious. Anyway, do you have an answer to my question? Oh. I want to get this caller off immediately. We need to investigate X-Day to do that. Since I couldn't report this to the police, it was obviously better to have assistance. Still... Can I really trust this lot? Was it really the right call to collude with them, despite being a police officer? Honestly, I was hesitant. Could I have a little bit of time to think about it? Alright, it would be unreasonable of me to press you for a decision now, given the situation. You might be a bit hesitant to work with us, having just met us. I don't want to let you die. I'm not a policeman anymore, but I did just abandon the ideals I had back when I was. There was a strong fire in Yanagi's eyes, and it drew me in. Maybe I had a good impression of him since he was the first to help me when I'd been poisoned. I want to trust him after all. Thank you. A lot has happened, so I'm really confused, but... Okay. So, for now, we need to be able to contact you somehow, right? Right, in case I needed to contact anybody, I exchanged phone numbers. Well then, I'll be back at night. Oh, hang on. Squinting at the rays of the morning sun, I left the detective office.
Oi.
Hey! I turned around to see Sasuzuka there. What is it? What are you hesitating for? Huh? You asked for time to think about joining us. Is there some reason you won't accept us? Whatever Yanagi might say, and whatever reason you might have, it doesn't change the fact that you're a big lead on the X-Day cases. At the very least, I won't be letting you waltz off. What's that supposed to mean? Even fools have their uses. That's what I'm saying. Don't you get that? Sasuzuka's eyes narrowed in irritation. And then suddenly, he yanked my muffler hard. Ooh. Hey. Shut up. Whoa, look at those eyes. This guy's a member of the Uchiha clan. Sasuzuka was gloring at me. He stared at me with what looked to me like hatred. A chill ran down my spine, and I froze. These guys like getting real close, huh? Yeah, it's, you know, the suspension bridge effect. Where, being in a dangerous situation makes you bond with the person. I don't think everyone will sympathize with you just because your little life is in danger. It was a shocking statement. Yanagi, on the other hand, said that he didn't want to let me die. The moment of safety I felt had vanished. I realized that, even for a moment, I had allowed myself to think that I was in a sympathetic environment. But he's different. I could be killed at any moment. Did he really not care at all? Damn, he's like choking us out. He's like awfully calm for a dude that's got a hand, considering this dude's got a hand around her throat. Whether you're cognizant of it or not, the fact of the matter is that Adonis has placed some value on your life. As if I would waste a card like that. I don't know what they're scheming, but they told us to get to the truth. Have you forgotten already? What the voice said? They'll be watching us through your collar. I'm only working to solve this case. If I need you to do it, then there's no way in hell I'll let you get away. What? I replied in a voice cracking with fear. Gotta make a save at every choice. So we can easily come back and do the other routes if we so decide to. What? You don't care if I die? Overcome with emotion, I blurted out an indignant question. Sasuzuka rolled his eyes. Idiot! You're hopeless. With that, he let me go. I don't even feel like answering that. Or that's what you think, then so be it. Shut it, you stupid cat! I don't have the patience to gently explain the situation to someone as dense as you. Sasuzuka I'm tired, I cannot pronounce words. Sasuzuka exasperatedly looked at me again and sighed in disgust. Listen, running away from us is not really an option you have right now. You can either shut up and help us, or let me watch out for you and use you to help us. Pick whichever option suits you. But those are your only options. Get it? Under Sasuzuka's ice-cold stare, I finally nodded. Stupid cat. Don't forget what I just told you. Leaving me with that, Sasuzuka went back inside without a second glance. Feeling like a fugitive, I checked behind me once I reached the intersection. I saw him go back inside, so I knew he wouldn't come after me, but still. I want to hurry up and get home. I was staring at the red light when I was suddenly tapped on the shoulder. Oh! I jumped in surprise and spun around. Oh, sorry, you were just in the detective agency, right? That SP guy! Not knowing why he had approached me, I nodded cautiously. That's right. I had a request for them. It was a detective agency, so I thought that would be a good bluff, but his eyes went wide. Huh? They got a job? Yes. Oh, strange. I heard they were generally not getting any work at all. Wait, really? Alarmed at this sudden twist, I thought back to what Yanagi said. The guy works in the security police division. We don't know the police's intentions. I knew that Yanagi was independently pursuing the X cases. In other words, this man knew the detective agency was just a front. Regretting such an obvious lie, I scrambled desperately for a cover. They made an exception for me. I had nowhere else to turn, so I begged them and they took on my job. What a terrible excuse. You begged them? Yes, I needed their help, but I had no choice. Wow. Sounds like you're in quite a bind. He gave me a look of pity. I'm sure I would do the same in his position. The signal changed. I'll be off now. Goodbye. I tried to leave as quickly as possible. Wait. It's dangerous to go alone. Please allow me to accompany you home. He tugged on my sleeve and smiled. This is bad! I'll be fine. It's just around the corner. It's no trouble at all. No need to be polite. Come on, let's go. Okazaki took my hand and started walking. Oh boy, we've been taken hostage in broad daylight. He's pushier than I expected. What should I do? I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Kei Okazaki. I know. Of course, I did say that out loud. Because of my own circumstances, I end up at that office a lot. I know that too. After another mental comeback, I took some time to consider my next move. I'm glad my holster was concealed under my coat. If not, he'd know that I was a cop. No matter how many times I said I was fine, he wouldn't listen, and now we neared my home. I didn't prompt the subject, but he'd been talking about the detective agency the entire time we'd been walking. Hey, relax, all of those guys are great at their jobs, so I'm sure they'll succeed at the job you have for them. I see. Well, they were police, so that makes sense. They're serious and principled people. I'm sure you'll see once you get to know them. Okazaki's gentle smile made me a little curious about why he was assigned by the police to protect the group. It's right here. If I just picked a different apartment to lose him, he'd follow me and know I was lying. With that in mind, I thought I'd just head directly to my place. Okay, see you around. See you around? I wanted as little to do with him as possible, but if he was protecting Yanagi's group, I'd run into him again if I went there. Wait a second. The letters from the criminals. He could have planted them, right? He works for the police, so he could have slipped in the first letter with the files. He comes in through the window, so he could have left the second letter in the office. Well, bye-bye. Ah, yes. Thank you very much for your help. As I stared at his back as he walked away. Okazaki. He spoke as if he knew quite a bit about Yanagi's group. They're the people he's protecting, so that's perfectly natural, but... only a certain caliber of person worked in SP. There should be many other people in this town worth protecting in a city this dangerous. was watching Yanagi's group. Something's definitely off. The longer I thought about it, the more I felt like I couldn't trust him. To begin with, the first letter indicated that a criminal was in the station, or there was a traitor in the ranks. But why me? Even more questions now filled my head. One of our sympathizers, a sympathizer. Though Yanagi's group and Okazaki were linked, I had no idea who that term applied to. I couldn't think of anyone who'd sympathize with the perpetrators of the X-Day murders. Who put this collar on me? What do they want? I don't know anything. Alright. Oh my gosh. It's already a little after 10. I forgot how long even the common route is. But once you do it once, you can skip it at least. Ugh. Alright. I think that is good for today. So that was your introductory course to Color Malice. We didn't even get to any of like the weird romance stuff. It's all like build up to mystery. Maybe we'll come back one day. We'll see. It's good to change things up now and again. Tomorrow though, tomorrow we're going back to Little Goody Two Shoes. Yes, Pep, hello. She's like, food. Oh, I know. I need to say goodbye to everyone first, okay? Ah, silly kitty. The stream made me want to play VNs again. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, there are so many out there. So tomorrow we're playing more of Little Goody Two Shoe, and on Wednesday we are revisiting one Kakuyaku no Kitsatue. So that's one to the Shining Season. We played a little bit on stream, and like I think I played maybe a half an hour on my own, and I haven't gone back around to it. So I was like, you know what? It's February. Let's go back to it. We had the time of our life making fun of the protagonist for being a piece of shit, so it will be a good time, I'm sure. But that's it for me. I gotta feed these cats before they scream the place down. They know, at this point they know when stream's wrapping up. They start meowing really loudly. Alright. That's it from me. I will see if there's anyone to raid into as we're heading out. If not, you guys are free to go. Go off, venture forwards into the great unknown. So, if it's daytime where you are, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. If it's nighttime, have a great rest when you finally roll on off to bed. And until next I see ya, take care of yourselves, wash your face, brush your teeth, eat good food, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Bye-bye-bye-bye!